Parker Bowles.
Now, coming straight in, fish and chips, Harry. Very, very nice to have you on board. Thank you for coming in. Now, quick, let's go straight at the deep end. What is the secret to great fish and chips?
The secret to?
Great fish and chips.
Passion, clean oil, virgin oil, quality food, quality fish, quality fresh potatoes. You're halfway there.
OK, so again, it's all about quality. A lot of the thing about fish and chips, like so much sort of English food, it has to be done well. It has to be done with passion. It has to be done with... And so right down to the sourcing of... I mean, what potatoes, for example? Let's start with the chips.
Maris Pipers, lovely. We'll change... We may alter Wilgers or Maris... There's several grades of several types of potatoes that we can use, but normally it's a Maris Piper, and it's a good, stable potato for us in the industry. The sugar content's important. If there's too much sugar, they'll cook very dark. They'll be firm. It's a combination of things.
Because it really is an art, like most cooking things. I just did a piece on chips, and I was frying different recipes. I did use Heston Blumentraul's triple cook chip that was great, which takes a bit of time, as you'd know with Heston. I used a Jane Grigson recipe, all these ones, but the key was the double frying of the chip as well as the variety of the potatoes.
Yes. Then you go into techniques of cooking. Some chip shops cook straight through. Some chip shops blanch, half cook their chips. That's what we do. Some of my associates do that. I believe it's crispy on outside. You get a crispier chip, soft, fluffy inside. It's gorgeous.
OK, well, listen, we're talking fish and chips today, and we want to know what your favourite fish and chip shop is in London or elsewhere. Do you feel that the north has better chips than the south, or London, or the west even, down in, or the southwest? Give me a call on 0845 6060 973, text 84850, or email tom@lbc.co.uk. The interesting thing, Harry, fish and chips, we see it as this quintessentially British dish. But looking back through history, the Jewish community, Jewish immigrants in London in the 19th century brought the art of fish frying, and they actually sold it cold, didn't they? Fish houses.
Yep.
And then the other thing, the French probably created...
the potato chips, and we somehow all got married together as fish and chips. It's 150 years of fish and chips, by the way. I don't know if you knew this.
Really?
This year's 100 years of fish and chips, and we had the Fish and Chip Shop of the Year competition just gone last week.
I've judged that before. It's a very serious competition. Yeah.
It is. It's a fantastic competition. Thank God for Seafish, who brings the fish and chips industry into the forefront and on people's minds and on people's lips. And, it supports our industry fantastically. And I'm so happy to see such an organisation supporting the national's favourite hot takeaway, fish and chips.
And is it still the nation's favourite?
In my eyes, it is. And if you ask Joe Public outside, we stepped outside now and said, what would you like? Great British fish and chips, pizza, Indian, burger, what would they say?
I hope they say fish and chips.
There you go.
And the thing is, I mean, I've got here this beautiful golden...
cod and chips,
cod and chips here now, and the batter
just come out the fryer, by the way. Cabbed it through, black cab through. Thanks to Al, he's a lovely guy.
Thank you, Al, because the fish steams inside the batter, doesn't it?
Yes, that's correct. Yes,
and is that the key?
Yes, the batter will seal the fish, and there's no oil content on the fish itself. It just seals it, and the fish itself gets steamed. And if you just peel the batter off, you shouldn't see a drop of oil on that fish. And I brought you several fishes here to try. Cod is the nation's, down south, definitely, the nation's most favourite fish, cod.
Yeah.
And my sales of cod is at least 80-90%. It is phenomenal. Everyone wants cod and chips. I brought you a little bit of starter, something unusual. Tiger prawns in batter. Just simple tiger prawns peeled in batter, just to entice you, just to enlighten other fish and chip shops. You don't have to just cook cod. There's many other fishes on this... It's true that the Joe Public do want cod in London. And I've got the halibut here, I've got tuna, I've got hake, I've got escala and mahi-mahi. I really would love you to try these, please, if you don't mind.
I will keep trying as we go through. Now, we're talking about cod. Now, you get yours, obviously, from sustainable sources. There are problems with cod. I mean, it's getting better, isn't it?
Yes, it is. As a country, the white fish quota has increased, which is great. They're doing what they should be doing and not overdoing their catching the smaller fish, etc. The frustrating thing for me is Iceland are doing a fantastic job. The Royal Navy is protecting their waters. Norway's doing a fantastic
So
job.
protecting them from what rogue Spanish and Japanese
Everybody and
fishermen.
anybody, even their own fishing boats. What they're doing is they have sunk one vessel. They have sunk one vessel, and since that day, nobody has, everyone's played ball on it.
Okay, so I love the idea of the Royal Navy blowing up anyone who tries to nick our
and that's it. Everyone's obliged. Everybody's, yes, sir, 3 bags full, so here's the size of the nets. And I've just brought to my attention that the nets that we're using generally are triangle-shaped, okay? And they should be using square nets, square hole nets. And that allows, when they're trawling the fish, that allows a little fish to swim through. I don't know. Apparently the Russians invented this 40 years ago.
I suppose there's some reason it's more expensive or something.
Well, who knows? Yeah, who knows? But it's infuriating that we're a little island and we should be able to source our own fish and not allow other countries to
take it over.
Yeah.
Now,
I've been to Whitby recently with my mate Fred. He's an awesome guy. He's got a place in Bournemouth. We travelled all around the country. Well, most of the country, and we went up to... it's fantastic. Honestly, some of these fish and chip shops, wow.
I mean, things like Shakey's up outside Blackpool is absolutely fantastic, and Henley's and Witherow. I mean, I've done the same as you. And what I love is going around the country, and you go to certain parts, like the Magpie Cafe up in Whitby in Yorkshire.
Unbelievable.
Now, they use dripping in their chips.
They do. Yes, they do. We had fish and chips, at least 6 portions in one day with Fred, my mate Fred down in Bournemouth. It's unbelievable, honestly. It's fantastic food. The mecca for fish and chips, in my opinion.
Bournemouth?
Okay. No, Whitby.
Whitby.
No, don't get me wrong. There's some
Bournemouth has some good ones, yeah.
Yes. Shares Fred. Up in Croydon, you've got McDermott. Up in Woodford, you've got Arkfish. I mean, you've got a handful of... You've got several brilliant fish and chip shops that... Consistency, all the time, consistency. It doesn't matter whether it's competition time or not, they are doing what they should be doing every single day. And it's remarkable. Honestly, it is so remarkable.
And this is what it's all about, is the consistency, is it?
Indeed.
Now, in terms of batter, do you I mean, a lot of people, when I was judging the fish and chip sea fish, I was quite amazed about how many high-quality people use a bought-in batter. I was like, I thought everyone made it fresh, but good made bought-in batter seem to taste sometimes as good as the homemade stuff.
The batter they're producing, as far as I'm concerned, is to protect the fish itself. I personally do use a traditional ordinary batter mix. We add water to it. We're about to finely tune now. I've been given, someone's bent my ear, and I've got a little secret recipe we're working on. And what I'd love you to do, please try some of our halibut. Please try our tuna before it starts getting cold. Please.
This is a feast for the senses and a feast for the eyes. I'm carrying on going as you're going.
No
I promise
problem.
you. And it's absolutely the halibut's a bit more expensive, obviously.
It is. We had delivery of a 215 pound halibut. Huge it was. I've got 2 youngsters on board. Jason Adil. Jason goes to Westminster College. He's training to be a chef. And when they saw this huge fish, their chins had dropped. And we filleted it. It took us about an hour.
Well,
but the pleasures of doing that.
This halibut is sublime. It's firm, it's sweet, it comes in luscious... I mean, it really is a sort of king of fish,
it's fried in butter. Is it greasy?
Not degrees. I'm touching it now. My hands, I could almost play the piano or put them all over a white table, but there'd be no grease. It's brilliant. Well, listen, Harry, we'll come back to you in a second, but it's just past 4:45. Time now for travel with Gary King.
Thanks a lot. Problems on the M40 at the moment.
With Tom Parker Bowles.
We're talking fish and chips with Harry Niazi from Olley's Fish Experience in Herne Hill. Now, fish and chips is a subject close to all British people's heart. Everyone has their favourites, and it's a great north-south divide. Now, we were talking about... I've just tried your halibut that was fantastic. Tuna. I didn't realise that was something that could be fried, but in a good batter, I think the telephone directory could taste good. It really is very, very fine. But we're talking about a north-south divide. When we're talking about in London, we tend to prefer cod, whereas up north, it splits a bit. How does the country divide when it comes to fish love?
The further you go up, I've been judging 4 sea fish, the fish and chip shop of the year competition, going to shops as a mystery diner, then going behind the scenes and expecting. And the further up north you go, the haddock is the preferred fish. As far as I'm concerned, haddock, it is a gorgeous fish. It's more flavour than a cod. It's white, chunky, just like a cod. I have no